Writing is not a mysterious art, but a craft that can be learned. The best way to learn anything is by doing it. We learn how to write by writing. Novels are written in prose, but what is prose? Prose can be defined as ordinary written or spoken language without regular structure, the structure that you normally find in poetry or verse. It sounds natural to the ear, and it's the medium that authors use to tell their stories. Prose consists of words, sentences, paragraphs and chapters when considering works of fiction, and there are certain rules that help to improve readability, which help to move the story forward. In this course, you will learn how to identify problem areas in your own writing, and how to apply simple guidelines to improve your skills. Other courses will deal with structure, such as the plot, characters, narration, description, point of view and dialogue. But here in this course we will deal with the mechanics of writing the right words in the right way to maximize the meaning to tell our story. This will result in an enjoyable experience for your readers and make them want to turn the page. I've identified these common problem areas for new writers and present simple procedures for correcting and improving your prose. In Lecture 2, we take a look at adverbs and adjectives. You will learn what they are, how to use them, and when not to use them at all. Used too often or in the wrong place, and your writing will be too ornate or flowery. This is called purple prose, and it's the hallmark of a beginner. Active and passive writing is the subject of Lecture 3. Now, this particular subject is the cause of confusion with many writers, both new and seasoned authors. Both active and passive writing can be used, and it depends on the meaning that you want to convey in the particular situation. In Lecture 4 we take a look at special punctuation. For the purposes of this course, I'll assume that students have a firm understanding of how to use a comma and a full stop, or a period as the Americans say, but the correct use of some commonly misused punctuation marks are often ignored. You will learn how to use the n dash, m dash, colon, semicolon, ellipses and the hyphen in the correct way. In Lecture 5 we learn how to use numbers and to write them in the correct way in prose. Inevitably, numbers do appear in our prose, and in this lecture you will learn how to write small, large and fractional numbers properly, as well as dates. I've titled Lecture 6 Words, 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 and the subject is how to avoid unnecessary words, and also how to choose the simple word over the complex or the fancy. Absolutes or overgeneralizations are a common feature for new writers, and in Lecture 7 we look at how we can remove these or change them. Authors tend to make sweeping statements that they hold to be true, but in fact often they are not. Overusage shakes the reader's faith in your writing, if it happens too often. In this lecture we learn how to search and destroy. In Lecture 8 we look at clichés and overused words. We hear and repeat them every single day, which is the first good reason why the reader doesn't want to find them in your novel. In Lecture 9, we explore how to use interjections. These are words that are not strictly a part of the sentence structure. The sentence still means the same if they are removed. The overuse of interjections can erode its flow and readability. Do we really need them or not? That is the question. In Lecture 10, we have two subjects: vague writing and initial coordinating conjunctions. Our writing needs to be decisive, not tentative or vague. We shouldn't leave the reader trying to guess what's happening or what our meaning is. An initial coordinating conjunction is when a sentence is started with a but or an and or a similar conjunction that is normally used to join two parts of a longer sentence. We look at the best way to handle their use. In Lecture 11, we look at the importance of variety in our prose. You will learn how sentence, chapter and paragraph length affects prose. The correct mix of action, description and dialogue is an important element of all fiction. And in the final lecture, Lecture 12, I give some tips on editing and applying the rules learned in this course. The treatment of the subjects in this course is not exhaustive, but intended to give the new writer specific tools that can be used immediately to dramatically improve your prose. You can jump to any lecture you like, but I encourage you to watch each one in turn. Some subjects may appear to be minor, and yet it's the combination of all the rules that bring the best results. My tip is to apply the rules after each writing session in the form of a mini edit. You should see the difference very quickly. It is these small differences that separate the amateur from the professional writer.